I was in the Philippines and I had typhoid fever, and the typhoid fever had left me almost too weak to walk. I was absolutely despondent at many times angry at why I couldn't get better or get well. I loved my wife so much, and I was afraid that I was going to die, and then where would she be? And I just struggled. At one point, I happened to read in the missionary manual that if I died as a missionary, my wife would get $100,000 from the family. Literally, really. And I began to try to plan a way that I could die, that it would not appear that I had done it on purpose. I don't know you're laughing, but that's where I was. We lived in a kind of a valley between two high mountain ridges. One was higher than the other, and I had one last place that I was supposed to go and pray for people and help them learn how to give their life to Christ. One of the things that had been surprising to me is that many of the missionaries in the Philippines did not leave their offices. They didn't want to get sick, and they didn't want to be involved. Can you imagine? They didn't want to be involved with Filipinos. But frankly, it was like that. For some of them, they just felt they stayed in their office and at home. As I looked at this one morning, I thought, there is a place that if I would go there could maybe be a place that I could die. And I drove up the edge of this mountain like this, and I was kind of crying as I was going because I was very upset. And I helped about, 300 people give their life to Christ that day, and they were so excited and so thrilled. And I thought, well, we'll see how long that lasts, because, who knows what joy is anymore. And I was very depressed. And I knew that up on this mountain, there was a twists and turns. The first turn going down was like this, but the second turn was a very steep turn. And then the third turn was more of a, so I planned to drive off on the second turn, And I told the Lord that's what I was going to do. I said, because you have never been willing to heal me. You've never said anything to me about my life or my strength. And so I will die off on the second turn, and then I will go to heaven, and then I will argue with you about why you never healed me. That's what I said, literally. And so as I hit the first turn, and then in the second turn, he said, when you drive off the second turn, you will not die. You will break your neck, and you will be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. That is my plan for you if you drive off on the second curve. And eventually you have to learn why it is that you have not been healed. And you have to decide how it is you're going to learn how to be healed. And so I drove down at the bottom of the mountain, and I sat in the Jeep, and it happened to be a very lagoonish kind of a place. There were all kinds of snakes here and snakes there, and no roads and no ponds, and just sitting there in this Jeep. And a very large anaconda snake came and snoozed on top of the front of the Jeep, so I didn't get out of the Jeep much. Eventually I sat on this log for 2 days just looking at the water. And this voice came to me. And he said, you feel like I have never helped you or supported you. Do you remember when I sent these 3 men to you, and they asked you to wait and to be patient and to stop and rest, and you would be healed? And of course I remember that.